What's going on, Beaches, and welcome to episode 1288 of the Daily Mother Swole. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new to the podcast, make sure you subscribe, and also the live streams every single day over on YouTube at the Daily Swole. This is a unique couple days. I am out of town, so I am only streaming live in the private Facebook group for Swolenormous X members, unlimited and uncensored. So if you want to learn more, go on over to swolenormousx.com and choose one of the memberships as little as $2.99. That is less than the price of a peppermint mocha latte. Ooh, we're in the new season now. No more pumpkin spice. Fuck that shit. Fuck yo, peppermint mocha latte. Anyway, this episode is going to be fire. We are going to expand upon some thoughts I've been having, something that we covered today in the live cast in the private group. So for those of you that are new, again, the live streams are kind of separate, kind of like a different topic, a separate topic. But we're going to talk about some of these issues that I covered in the private group, as well as some new concepts, and just kind of go into things a little bit more depth. So thank you so much for checking out all the channels. Remember, at Swolenormous everywhere, at Papa Swolio on TikTok. And of course, if you want to catch all the live streams and all the additional content, including all the training, nutrition, and more, go learn at swolenormousx.com. Go learn. Go get your learn on over there. But thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, let's get into episode 1288.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome everyone to episode 1288 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and of course the slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What is going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and ye old hoes? It's your boy, a papa, a swoley. Oh, what's going on? It's a great day. It's a cold fucking day. I am traveling, so for those of you that are like, why didn't he go live today? Why didn't he go live? All these podcasts are going to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, but it's going to be like video audio. It's going to be like, the logo, and you're going to have the audio. So you're going to be able to stream it or watch it on YouTube, but it's just going to be audio. The video is exclusive. The live stream is exclusive for Swolenormous X members. So if you are new to the podcast, if I'm traveling, I only broadcast live in the group because as per today, for example, the internet is so bad at home. It's so bad. Literally live in the woods in Connecticut, and the internet is so bad I can't even go live on Facebook from my phone. I can barely use Instagram. I can barely use the internet. It's Wi-Fi, and it's, quote, broadband, but it's barely fucking functional. For reference, it's like the downloads are like 4.8 megabits per second, and at home it's like 320, 330 plus. So it's super fucking slow, and I can barely upload anything. So I was in town, and I did get some cell service there, so I did go live for a while with Grandpapa Swolio. So if you're a member, make sure you go and check out the live stream. It's in the private community, so that's exclusive for members. But as I mentioned, I will be doing the podcast, and will be adding to that content, and also expanding a little bit more. So the members, you all, the Swole fam, you get exclusive content. We did the Swole card giveaway already, and unfortunately right now I am not streaming live, which is like, kind of a Bumplestiltskin. I wanted to stream live, and I thought the internet would be a little bit better than it was. I thought I could stream from my phone, but alas, not possible. So what I'm going to do right now is, by the time you're listening to this podcast, you've probably already seen the latest YouTube drop that I did. And you're going to get a lot more of this balls deep action, because whenever I travel, there's always some different concepts, and there's always some new perspective that I get, because when I step out of my routine, just like a lot of you, it helps hone my approach and what I really want to address for like the next following coming weeks. Like when I get back into my flow, get back into my routine, because it gives me that renewed perspective, because I used to travel a lot. I used to be traveling every fucking weekend, and a lot of you are always in the car and always traveling. And for me, once I get on a routine, it's fine. Once I get on a routine, if I'm always traveling, I'm good at always traveling. If I'm staying home a lot or I'm staying local, then I'm good at staying local. So like many humans, a creature of habit, and I kind of master and get into that flow. So lately I haven't been traveling a lot. So it's always kind of like funky when I travel for me in terms of like exercise. Like when I travel, a lot of people love to work out when they travel. I tell everyone don't take any days off. But for me, I'm not a really big like working out person when I travel. I like to, but for this trip, it's like it's so fucking cold. It's so fucking cold. I just can't truly enjoy it. I don't know if that makes I can't get into it. I can't warm up. I feel so stiff and it's so fucking cold because it's also high altitude where I am in Connecticut. So it's like a couple thousand feet above sea level. So there's that little bit kind of like, stiff and kind of funkiness coming from the cold, coming from the altitude because Florida, it's all sea level. It's all zero. No one's anything higher than maybe 10 feet off the ground if you're on a fucking on-ramp to the highway, right? So it's a little bit of a whole different feel and nothing's close. There's nothing really close. So I do a lot of yoga. I do yoga and I'll do some stretching. I do some mobility. I'll do like my deep squats and my mobility stuff, but I'm not doing a lot of like hardcore lifting. We don't have any weights here. But sometimes I go to the gym once or twice. I do some pull-ups. There's pull-up bars and shit like that. But it's really more of like a deloading. Now, I always say don't take any days off. So if you're doing yoga, you're doing mobility, you're doing something that's great. Like do something. It doesn't have to be intense exercise. So a lot of people feel like, oh, he said no days off. That means I have to fucking crush it. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. You don't want to crush it all the time. You want to give your body the chance to recover. You want to give your body the chance to repair. You want to give your body the chance to do better and get better for the next subsequent workout session. So for this trip is going to be more of like a deloading. I wanted to do a workout, so maybe might do one just so I'm not crippled sore when I come back and do it my first leg day and feel like I got hit by a fucking truck. So, you know, wherever you are, if you're a traveler or if you go on a trip, don't beat yourself up about it if you're not exercising or you want to take some time off, but don't completely slack. And it depends on the person. If you have aggressive goals and you're really trying to, achieve them and you have specific weight loss goals or muscle building goals, you're going to stay on track. I'm not going to have to explain this to you. I'm not going to have to be like, hey, you need to stay focused. You need to stay consistent. You're going to be doing that. But for those of you that are kind of like in the wind, like you don't really have any specific goals, you're doing this to feel better, to not be in pain, to be healthier, then you have a little bit more leeway, a little more slack. So with all my content, with all this kind of, how hard should you work? When should you take off? How many reps should you do? How many calories should you be eating? It all depends on what your goal is. So that being said, make sure that when you're traveling, when you're resting, when you're recovering, that you're doing stuff that's going to help you get to where your goal is, no matter what that goal is, whether it's more recovery, whether it's bigger, whether it's weight loss. If you're going to slack, understand that it's going to affect your progress potentially. And some people will be affected more than others. Some people can get away with taking a week off. Some people will take a week off and then all of a sudden they're binge eating, they're doing all sorts of shit that will take them down a couple more weeks or a couple months of, I can't get back on my routine. So for me, I'll be here. I won't work out maybe for 4 or 5 days. I'll do some yoga. I'll get back. I'll be sore the first day. I'll be back on my routine in no time. It's not like I'm going to fucking not work out or something. It's just, a little bump in the road. It's a little shift. And it's kind of nice, to be honest, for me to be here and for me to be forced to not be on the internet. And I'm not addicted by any means, but I am involved, obviously, heavily with all this content. I'm very heavily involved with posting online, with creating content, but it's done for a specific reason. So it's not like I'm a consumer. I'm always watching YouTube videos. I'm always watching Netflix, or I'm always scrolling on Instagram. I use Instagram. I use YouTube. I create the content. I get the fuck off. So it's nice to not be able to be on it all the time. But at the same time, it's a little bit inconvenient. So it's kind of like a nice forced relaxation or a nice forced break or forced time off. So it's definitely something that's a nice little change, and it's nice to be in uncomfortable positions. And it's nice, and that's the same thing with exercise. Same thing with nutrition. Same thing with exercise. If you're in an uncomfortable position, if you're in a situation where it's not, ooh, this is ideal, or you're in a situation where it feels awkward and you have to adjust, and you have to, it seems like you have to, go against the grain a little bit. You're going to grow. You're going to develop. You're going to learn something. You're going to develop psychologically as a person. You're going to develop physically. You're going to gain some new perspective. So it's nice to get out of your comfort zone. And, this is kind of like, yeah, I'm out of my comfort zone. I got to adjust. I have to adjust on the fly and still stay consistent, which I did. Did the live broadcast, throwing down the podcast right now. Never miss a day. Not missing a single day. Haven't, and I won't. And it might not be the same output. It might not be a live stream, the way that I have, but I'm out of the office and I adjust. I went live for the members and I dropped a podcast. So every day, no matter what, and it's just kind of like adapting and adjusting to your situation. So the next time you think you're off your game and you've lost everything and you're so far behind, blah, 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 you're not. You just have to adjust and understand that those bumps in the road are challenges that you have to overcome and adapt to. If you don't adapt, you're going to die. Adapt or die. If it's against the grain, cool. A lot of things are against the grain. Just because it's against the grain doesn't mean it's going to be negative for you. Against the grain is going to build character. It's going to build skills. It's going to build awareness. It's going to build more connection with your body. Connection with your body. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Now, let me just get comfortable. Being that I have been traveling, I have been through the airports, and every time I go to the airport, which isn't super, super often, but whenever I do, I get some new perspective on what people are doing and what people are subjecting themselves to when it comes to nutrition. And it happens in the airport when you're in the waiting area and also when I'm on the fucking plane. Now, every time it's just shocking. It's like brand new shocking for the first fucking time how much garbage people shove into their fucking mouths. For real. How much can someone shove into their fucking mouth? How much trash can people eat? It's like fucking nonstop. It's nonstop. I see. And for those of you that are listening, you might be obese and overweight and you might be working your ass off. And I applaud you. I commend you. And I'm proud of you. But for fuck's sake, for people that have fat overflowing over their belts, they look like balloons that are about to pop. These people just are shoving chips and just fucking soda. They're drinking soda, they're drinking calories, and they are shoving, for example, pop chips into their mouth like it's fucking, I don't know. I was going to say like it's candy. I mean, they're fucking shoving candy in their mouths too. It's like this nervous habit. And I really do feel this is where meditation plays a big role, and I'm going to explain. When people have a little bit of a breather in their day or in their life, like a moment of peace, like finally people are sitting down for a second without a TV in front of them. I mean, we have phones, but they're waiting at the airport or they're on the plane, and all of a sudden they can't just get up and walk around freely. Like they have to be in one place. They're waiting for something. So what is there to do? People are so used to being busy and doing shit and always being at work and rushing around and not being still and in silence and just peace that they have to fill their time with this kind of shit. So they just fucking eat, they chew. They're stimulating their brain. All these like sugar and the hormones are fucking being released and they're getting off. It's just fucking getting mentally. They're just mentally jerking themselves off with food. So that being said, I feel like with meditation, with the ability to learn how to be quiet, the ability to learn to be silent, the ability to learn how to go inside, how to go introspective inside your own head, and to be comfortable with that, silence, that can still and calm the mind and the body for those situations where you don't need to be fucking your face with food. You don't need to be shoving stuff in nonstop. Like, take a fucking breather. For fuck's sake, take a breather and don't shove food in your face. It doesn't have to be relentless. No joke, it seriously doesn't. I mean, people are just mercilessly fucking their face with food. And that's it. It's a nervous habit. I can see it. They can't be still for a second. And it just hurts. It hurts my body. It hurts my soul to see someone that is so overweight that their clothes can barely contain, that their belt can barely contain. It looks like their clothes are straining. And they just look bloated and puffy and uncomfortable, yet they're still adding. They're adding, but they're not subtracting. They're not using energy. They're not using any of it. They're just stuffing. They're not using any of this energy. So all they're doing is adding to their body. They're putting stuff in. They're telling their body, you know what? Find a place for this to go. Find a place for this dirty dick to go. This dirty, bleeding fucking AIDS dick. Find a place for this to go. Put it somewhere. Put it on my gut. You know what? Put it on my thighs. You know what? There's no more room there. Put it on my arms. Put it on my face. Put it on my fucking calves. And all it is just relentless more, just shoving it in. You know, and if it's literally, if we simplify it to calories in and calories out, you can do a lot of damage just by damage in a good way. You can do a lot of damage just by adjusting what you're putting in, the quality, because if it's more quality, you're less likely to overeat. You're getting more nutrients, getting more dense benefits. That's a good thing. And if you're using more and you're sending more out, you're sending more away. You're sending more out. You're using more. More of what you're bringing in is going out. And that's a good fucking thing. So you need to send more out of your body. You need to get rid of more shit. You need to eject it more. You need to send it out. Send it to summer camp. Like, get the fuck out. Like, spend some of that money that you've saved. When it comes to body fat or calories, let's not say body fat. When it comes to calories, you want to spend that savings. The fat you have on your body, that's your body's savings account. That's what your body saves. That's your monetary savings. Now with financials, you might save it and want to keep it and invest it. Okay, fine. When it comes to nutrition, you want to spend it. You don't want to have extra energy. You don't want to keep that around. You want to get rid of that. The whole point is you want that to be spent. If you have too much extra, it's not good for you. So spend it. Use it. Send it out. Send that shit away. Use more energy. Better food choice. It's not complicated. Okay? If you take anything from this podcast, it's not complicated. You make better food choices. Okay? You exercise more. Fucking swim, cycle, go to spin class, go to fucking Zumba. Move more. Fundamentally, move more. Now, of course, I have recommendations. Those of you that are listening that are members of Swolenormous X, you know how I design programs. You know that approach. You get it. There's a systematic approach. You want to do mobility. You want to do strength training. You want to do yoga. Great. But in general, that concept is moving more. And then, of course, in the category of moving more, there's certain things that you should be addressing, certain things that you can approach in a certain way that would be more beneficial. But that's kind of like separate for just exercise, for just moving. But then nutrition, quality. You want to sleep better. Great. Meditate. You want to hydrate. You just make better choices and mitigate stress. Your internals are going to be straight. They're going to be fantastic. You need to improve upon where you are. You're the only one that's in control of your life. You can control your improvements. You should always be striving for improvements. You should always be striving for better. Always be striving to do a little bit more. Always be striving to, to get that little bit extra out of your life and to take your health and your nutrition, your training to the next level. And it doesn't have to be drastic. It doesn't have to be, someone doing some crazy fucking shit on Instagram. It doesn't have to be stupid shit. It can be fundamental, proper progressions to where you are right now that will make you a better person and a healthier person in the long run. And that's all that we have is the long term. And I keep on striking home with this inside for members, those of you that are unlimited members, and we've been texting back and forth, with Swole Text. A lot of you have been saying that your approach since joining, because I asked the other day, I asked you, what is the most important thing that you've learned from Swolenormous X? And a lot of you are just, when you came across the podcast, when you came across and you joined Swolenormous X, it's the lifelong approach. It's approaching your fitness and your training, your nutrition, everything as there is no end. It doesn't end in 6 weeks. There's no 6-week fucking challenge. A lot of you know, if you've listened to this podcast before, I hate the word challenge when it comes to fucking exercise. It's not a challenge. It's not a 6-week challenge. It's not 2 months. It's not 5 months. It's lifetime. This is just a piece of the puzzle. This is not something that you do separately and then, okay, it just floats off into the fucking night. You have to progressively add and build and develop and understand that what you do today is going to be how your body reacts and how your body responds tomorrow. And the choices for nutrition and training that you make today is going to be what your outcome is and what your result is tomorrow and the next day and next year and 5 years and 10 years. And it's going to be the determining factor whether or not you have Alzheimer's or cancer or diabetes. And of course, there's other factors. There's genetic factors, there's other exposure and other elements and environmental factors. So I'm not saying that you can mitigate everything, but fucking hell, you can reduce your risk drastically, especially for these preventable diseases that come from people that make poor fucking choices and don't lock their shit down. So I think, in closing and wrapping this up, what's most important to you? How are you fundamentally, mentally, how are you psychologically approaching your fitness? How are you fundamentally approaching your training? For real, how are you fundamentally approaching it? Are you approaching it from a short-term fix? You want abs, period. You want bigger arms, cool. Are you approaching your training from just aesthetics, or are you looking at it from an approach of also, oh shit, health. I want to feel good. I want to be healthy. Or is it just I want to look a certain way? And I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look a certain way. That's part of it. If you take care of your health, you're going to look good. You're going to look a lot better. You're going to look better naked. Everyone wants to look better naked. Now, who doesn't? Who wouldn't want to look healthier? Who doesn't want to look sexy? Who doesn't want to look dead sexy naked? Who doesn't? Who doesn't? You do. I know you fucking do. We all do. But you want to look sexy naked and also be healthy enough to use that body and to bang it out. You know what I'm saying? If you're dead and you're dying and you have fucking disease and you're out of breath and you got to be healthy too. I don't know what that was all about. I'm just looking at this sexy beach in my bed. This pup. Big old cuddly pit bull. She's such a fucking angel. She's such an angel. I would bring her home with me, but she would eat Papa Swolio. She doesn't get along well with other dogs, and she is such a fucking cuddler. Oh my God. She is so beautiful. You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. You good girl. Anyway, fam, this is an important topic. Some of you are traveling a lot. Some of you, you have a lot of colleagues or people around you that are not making the right decisions and don't care. Surround yourself with better people, tighten up your circle, focus on longevity, and you will make better decisions if you're focusing long term than if you're looking for a quick fix. But I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you tomorrow, or you'll hear me tomorrow for episode 1289. So I'll try to get my other friend. I might see one of my best friends tomorrow. Known him since I was 8 years old. You've probably seen him on my content before, but I'm going to try to do the live cast. So if you are interested in accessing all that and catching the live streams and the exclusive content for the live streams when I travel, that will be this entire week inside Swolenormous X Live, the private Facebook group. Go and join. You get access to the private group with Swolenormous Uncensored and with Swolenormous Unlimited memberships. So go over to swolenormousx.com and learn more. And I'll see everyone tomorrow for episode 1289. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for subscribing, watching, checking out the brand new YouTube drop tomorrow or today, whenever you're catching this, at Swolenormous on YouTube. And of course, the Daily Swole on YouTube for all the live streams when I'm in town. And I will be uploading those kind of like video audio files this week. So if you are a subscriber to the podcast on the channel, you can catch the audio there as well. And I'll keep the place of each episode running so it looks congruent, so everyone has the content where it should be. And we'll be back to the normal live streams in the middle of this week, and I'm looking forward to it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for listening. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy, Papa Swolio. Out.